Hey kids, it's me, your crazy Uncle Vail, back, finally, again, with more useless Go advice. Today we're going to be looking at some life and death problems. I like to live, I don't like to die, I think. So let's try to figure out how to live in the game of Go, particularly when your opponent has stones inside your groups. Can it be done? Let's see. I have not figured out the answers to these problems yet. These are new to me, and so I know this, and I'll share what I know. This top problem is white to kill. So this one I know white can win here. White can kill black. These other three are status problems, and status problems are the type of problems where the book doesn't tell you who's going to win or who's going to lose. You just got to figure it out on your own, which is useful because an actual game of Go doesn't tell you either. So let's start with this top problem. White can kill up here somehow. I'm going to pause the video. I suggest you do too. Take a good close look at it and see how white can do it. Right, so spent a few seconds looking at this. This doesn't seem too hard, and I'm hoping that I'm not falling into a trap here by thinking that it's easier than it actually is. But it looks to me like B19 kills black. I mean, there's no way black can get out here, right? There's no way at this point for black to make a shape that kills white on the inside and doesn't end up being either self-Atari when he gets to that point or a three-space group, which a three-space group is dead. So there's nowhere for black to make eyes here. There's no eyes here for black, and was never an eye. So I think this is the easy answer. All right, that was the simple one. Let's move on to the next ones. At the end of the video, we'll find out whether I was right or wrong on all this stuff. Let's pause the video again, and let's determine whether or not white can live, or if white's going to die in this circumstance. Please pause your video at this time. And we're back, and I think white is super dead here. Reasons are good. I think that it's because this group here, black's interior shape, what's that remind you of? That reminds me of a bulky 5. A bulky 5 is a dead shape. If you watched our previous video on basic life and death shapes, you'll know that if you can force your opponent to make an eye, one eye, that is this shape. So if white does this, now let's assume actually that doesn't quite work because white has the opportunity to make an eye here too. But the idea here being that if you can force your opponent to make this group here, this shape, and you can play inside at this point, then the group's dead. So whenever you see this kind of shape, you should be really, really nervous if it's you, and really happy if it's your opponent, because I think white is super dead here. So if black just hanes, then white can block maybe, but after this he's got to come back and fill, and now there's nowhere for white to get more eye space. He's going to eventually have to kill this group, and the way he's going to do that will turn it into a bulky 5. So I think white is super dead. All right, more advanced problems. Let's look at this one in the bottom right. And let's again pause the video and try to answer the question for yourself. What is the status of white? Is white alive? Is white dead? What do you think? So pause your video now. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I don't know. We'll find out at the end. But I think the white's alive here. I think this because either way. So you remember, there's different types of statuses. There's dead, where the group can't do anything but die. There's alive, where the group can't do anything but live. And then there's undecided, unsettled. Unsettled is where, depending on who plays first in that area, the group could live or it could die. I was trying to find moves for, let's start with white. I was trying to find moves for white that would make it live. And this move ensures that white lives right off the bat. So obviously black can't play here because that's 2 eyes right off the bat. If black tries to poke out that eye, that becomes 1 eye, 2 eyes. White's alive. So this move definitely makes white alive. Now, that doesn't mean that the group is unsettled, because it could be that black has no moves to kill white. So that's the other question we need to find out. Is there a move that black could play that could make white die? White definitely has a move that could make white live, but does black have a move that could make white die? Is this the move? I don't think so, because as we fill it in, there's no way for black to poke out both eyes, and that's because this shape here is not a dead shape. This shape is not a bulky 5 like we saw up here. Everything that black is going to force white to make on the inside has the potential to turn into 2 eyes. So my thought is that this group, white is alive, unconditional alive. We'll see if that's right at the end of the video. Anyway, back to the last problem over here. Let's go ahead and pause and see if white is alive or dead or unsettled. I don't know. It's not looking good for white, in my opinion. Okay, first thing to note. This, not an eye. Will never be an eye. Why? Because even if white tries to do something over here, white will always have to come back and fill this, or it will get captured by black. One of the two. So it's not ever going to be an eye. Even if white does this, doesn't matter. That still is going to have to get filled eventually. So no go on this being an eye. Therefore, white has to get 2 eyes in here. Can it be done? Can it? I don't think so. Because white or black doesn't have to play. Black doesn't have to play at all. What if white goes here? Now, what he's maybe thinking is that he'll get an eye here. Maybe. One here, one here. That would be his only shot. But when white plays there, no, I'm sorry. When white plays here, black can just go there and stop that from happening. So I just don't think there's any way for white to get 2 eyes in here. I think that white is unconditionally dead. Even if white goes first and, well, goes here. This is another option. It's a trick, kind of, because if black plays here, then this is Atari and forces black to take. And now white, Atari's here. Black cannot fill here because that would be self-capture, so he has to play elsewhere. And now white has his 2 eyes. Is that success? No, because black would not play here. He would play here. Now, there's no way for white to capture this that doesn't turn into just three spaces where white could play or black could play right in the middle again. So, end result, this, what do we decide? This black's dead, this white's dead, this white is alive, and this white is dead. Let's pause the video again. I will pause and I will see if I was right. I'm so confused. I seem to have encountered a blind spot in my Go knowledge, which is great. This is what I'm looking for. I want to find areas that I don't fully understand. And it appears that the concept of Seki, okay, Seki is where neither side can play without getting captured. Okay. In Japanese rules, what that turns into is everybody's alive. So not necessarily any territory, but nobody dies. So you can consider a group that is in Seki to be alive. All right, first off, this one right here, this was correct. So yay for us. B19 is the correct move. Seemed pretty obvious, but that's how you kill black. These other shapes I find disturbing, and it's because I don't understand them. So here's what the book says. By the way, this is Life and Death by James Davies. We had talked about how if black plays here, then it can die. Another way for black to play, it says, is to play here, and that black can kill this way. But I couldn't see a way for white to live, and so I assumed that the white was unconditionally dead. So there's a couple ways for black to kill. How does white live if white can live? And according to the book, the answer is here. This creates a false eye, it says. By making black's eye a false one, white can live in Seki. All right, so I'm eager now. I'm looking for the Seki, but I can't find it. Now it's black's turn. According to the book, this is black's play, and white plays here. Why? How does this change anything? Black will just connect, and we went through this already. So I'm going to ask you guys for help. If you can find the Seki here, because all I can see, I'm not misreading this, I don't think. No, that's the number of liberties that white has. White has 1, 2, 3, 4 liberties. As white, apparently it's all about making this a false eye, but he's just going to connect here, right? And now white's dead. I don't see how this is a Seki at all. Okay. So anyway, I need help on this one, I guess. I'll continue to look at it. And if I'm so inclined, I will post an update. Down here, we were correct. This one, a slightly modified version of the problem from the book, but white is definitely alive here for all the reasons we talked about. Over here, we have another Seki problem. Again, I don't fully understand it, but it says that if white does play, we're right. This is definitely not an eye, but it says that if white plays here, white can live in Seki because all black can do is go here, implying that eventually this will turn into, I guess what, okay, maybe it's like this. Maybe white now ignores it. Black wants to kill, let's say it's endgame. Black wants to kill. Ignore. 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 Hmm. Like this? Is that what it's talking about? So this is 4 spaces. That would be alive. So I don't see it here either. Help me, help me. I don't understand. Man, I mean, this is good, right? I need to know these things, but I just don't see it. So I'm going to have to post a special video on Sekis. I'm going to do this. I'm going to study Seki. All right. Well, I hope that was helpful. If you have any input as to what I'm missing here, this is what the problem looks like. And it says that, okay, so here, I'll just read it off again. So this is unsettled according to the book. Black can kill if it's black's turn by playing here. Okay, fine. It says that white can live in Seki by playing here, and that all black can do is play here. So this somehow turns into a Seki, and I don't see it. So that's it for today's life and death problem. I will probably end up posting an addendum to this video once I figure all this stuff out. Until then, folks, you have yourself a good day, and keep playing Go, keep studying life and death, keep studying Endgame, study your own games, and for crying out loud, Excelsior.